Welcome to this deep dive. Today we're tackling a really specific, crucial moment right at the start of World War II in Poland, the Battle of Chojnice.
That's right, September 1st, 1939.
Our source gives us this very detailed breakdown of just that one day, but what we want to do is pull out the drama, the strategy.
The sheer speed of it all, it really sets the stage.
So ground zero, as you said.
Absolutely. This is one of the very first clashes of the German invasion. It's part of the bigger picture, the Battle of the Border. But Chojnice itself, it's a microcosm.
A microcosm of what, exactly?
Of what the Polish army was suddenly facing. I mean, immediate, incredibly brutal, and highly mechanized warfare just appearing almost out of nowhere, lightning speed.
Okay, so let's paint the picture for you listening. This town, Chojnice, it's in the Pomeranian Voivodeship.
Yeah, think of it like a province or a major district.
And why was it important? The sources say it was a key communications hub, right?
Exactly. A major regional center for transport, communications,
Yeah.
rails, roads. Very important.
So the Polish mission was, well, pretty straightforward but tough. Hold the city. Protect the southern flank of Army Pomorze.
One of their main northern army groups. And that phrase, at all costs, well, it became very real very quickly.
Who was actually doing the defending?
It was the Chojnice Detached Group. They were under Colonel Kazimierz Tadeusz Majewski.
And who were they up against?
They were facing the German 20th Motorized Infantry Division, commanded by Moritz von Victoren.
And that motorized part is key, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. This isn't just standard infantry showing up on foot. This is a unit built for speed, for rapid movement, deep attacks. That's crucial for understanding how the day unfolded.
Right, so you've got this determined, maybe more static defense
Mm-hmm.
against this force designed specifically for fast, deep punches. A classic clash.
It really is.
And it didn't sort of ramp up, did it? Right. The timeline shows it just hit hard.
No ramp up at all. Full force right away. Coordinated attacks kicked off precisely at 04.30
In the morning.
before 30 a.m. And the first move wasn't even on Chojnice itself. No, that's what's so interesting. It shows the German coordination. The very first action we see is air power, Stuka dive bombers.
The infamous Stukas.
Yep, from 31 Stuka Geschwader. And they weren't bombing Chojnice initially. They were hitting vital infrastructure nearby, specifically the Tczew Bridge.
Okay, why that bridge? What was the strategic thinking there?
Well, it was essential for Polish movement, troops, supplies, rail, and road. The Germans either wanted to capture it intact or at least deny its use. Basic strategy: cripple your enemy's ability to move.
Makes sense. Cut the supply lines, isolate the battlefield.
But here's where you see some Polish planning. They anticipated this. The sources are clear. The Polish units actually managed to destroy the Tczew Bridge before the Germans could secure it.
Wow. So that initial air attack on the bridge, it didn't achieve its main goal.
It seems not, regarding capturing it. The Poles blew it first. That's a small but significant early win for them. Evidence of preparedness, you know.
Definitely. Buying time, disrupting the German plan right from the get-go. Okay, so the Stukas didn't get the bridge. What happened next on the ground at Chojnice?
Well, the ground assault started properly then. And the Germans tried some specific tactics, relying on speed and armor straight away.
Like what?
First, they tried basically sneaking armored cars right into the railway station, a kind of infiltration attempt.
Did that work?
Nope, repulsed. And when that failed, they quickly followed up with an armored train. A literal armored train attacking Chojnice directly.
An armored train. You don't hear about those every day.
Not anymore, no. But it shows they were throwing specialized assets at the problem, try and find a weak spot, break the defense quickly.
And the Polish defenders stopped that too.
They did. Both attempts. The armored cars, the armored train, both pushed back.
That's pretty impressive for the opening hours.
Yeah.
It says something about the Chojnice Detached Group's readiness, doesn't it? They were expecting armored probes.
It certainly suggests that. They weren't caught completely flat-footed by armor. They held their ground despite everything being thrown at them, air attacks happening elsewhere. These direct armored assaults.
So they managed to hold off the Germans for quite a while.
For a remarkably long time, actually, considering the pressure. They held the main German advance back until the early afternoon. That's, what, almost 10 hours of fighting?
10 hours. That's crucial time, Bot.
Absolutely precious time. For other units, for command decisions further back. But time was ultimately the enemy here, alongside the Germans.
Because of that motorized division, remind us quickly, why was a motorized division so different, so much more dangerous in 39?
Right. So standard infantry moves, well, at walking pace, maybe 20, 30 kilometers a day if they're lucky.
Mhm.
Predictable. A motorized division, like the 20th, has trucks, carriers for almost everyone and everything.
So they move much faster.
Much faster. 50, 100 kilometers a day, maybe more on good roads. They carry their own artillery, engineers, everything. They're designed to bypass strong points, get into the enemy's rear areas, encircle units. They don't just push, they flow around obstacles.
Okay, I see. So holding a fixed line against that kind of unit is incredibly difficult.
Almost impossible long-term without mobile reserves of your own. And the Polish defenders at Chojnice, despite their initial successes, were facing exactly that relentless mobile pressure.
So the situation eventually became critical.
It did. Around 14:00, that's 2 p.m., the Germans hadn't just been hitting the front, they'd been maneuvering, using that mobility.
Ah, the encirclement threat.
Exactly. They were threatening to cut off the defenders completely, surround the city. Once that became a real danger, Colonel Majewski had to make the call.
Order a retreat?
Yes, a fighting withdrawal, eastward, towards a town called Rytel. The defense had done its job, held for hours, but now it was about saving the remaining troops.
Retreating under fire, especially from a fast-moving enemy. That's incredibly risky.
One of the most dangerous things you can do in war. You need discipline, and you need cover. Someone has to hit the enemy back, slow them down, while the main body gets away.
And that job fell to a specific unit.
Yes, the 18th Pomeranian Uhlan Regiment.
Uhlans, that's cavalry, right? Horse-mounted troops.
Traditionally, yes. Polish Uhlans were famous cavalry units. They were ordered to screen the infantry retreat, protect them as they pulled back.
How do they do that?
Yeah,
Against
man.
motorized infantry.
Well, they launched a countermove, a direct attack against the pursuing Germans, at a place called Krojanty.
Wait, a mounted attack? A cavalry charge?
That's what the sources indicate. A mounted charge by the 18th Uhlans at Krojanty, specifically to cover the withdrawal from Chojnice.
Wow. Cavalry charging machine guns and potentially armored vehicles in 1939.
It's an image that really sticks with you, doesn't it? It sounds archaic, almost medieval. But tactically, you use what you have. They needed to create space, disrupt the pursuit now. And the cavalry charge, however desperate it seems, was their tool for immediate violent action to break contact.
So this charge at Krojny is directly linked to the Battle of Chojnice.
Absolutely. It's the final act, really. The covering action that allowed the infantry to escape encirclement after holding Chojnice all morning, it just starkly highlights that massive gap in technology and tactics they were trying to overcome.
It really does. Courage and tradition meeting, well, the future of warfare head on.
A very potent image for the start of the Polish campaign.
So, looking at the outcome, tactically, Chojnice fell. A German victory on the map.
Yes, inevitably. The Germans took the town, continued their advance. The defense didn't stop the invasion.
But it wasn't a walkover.
Not at all. And that's the key takeaway, I think. The Poles achieved something significant. They held a highly mobile, specialized German division for nearly 10 hours. They forced them to stop, deploy, fight hard for a town the Germans probably expected to bypass quickly. They inflicted delays.
So, for you listening, what does this one battle, this one day, really tell us about the start of World War II?
Well, you see the German template immediately, don't you? Synchronized air power, the Stukas hitting the bridge. Then rapid ground assault using mechanized forces, the 20th Motorized. Speed, coordination, maneuver.
And on the Polish side?
You see determined, prepared local defense. They blew the bridge, that's foresight. They repelled those initial armored probes, that's good defensive setup. And then desperate heroism, like the Uhlan charge, to salvage the situation when overwhelmed.
It really sets the tone for the whole campaign, doesn't it?
It does. The Germans' sheer speed and mobility, that ability of the 20th Motorized to just keep pressing and maneuvering, eventually overcame the Polish successes. They forced that retreat by 2 p.m. It wasn't just about firepower. It was about the pace of operations.
Speed was the weapon.
Speed was absolutely the deciding factor here. They might have stopped a specific tank or armored car, but they couldn't stop the relentless clock and the division's ability to flow around them.
So we've seen this intense escalation from Stuka dive bombers hitting a bridge at 4:30 a.m. to a cavalry charge covering a retreat by early afternoon, all in the first day. It shows that against Blitzkrieg, maybe success wasn't holding ground forever, but buying those precious hours.
Exactly. Delay was victory, in a sense. Which brings us to a final thought, something for you to maybe mull over.
Go on.
Think about this. It's September 1st, 1939, the start of the biggest, most mechanized war in history. You've got Polish infantry already hit by dive bombers, being outflanked by fast-moving trucks and armored vehicles, and their salvation, the thing that allows them to escape.
The Uhlans. Mounted cavalry.
Right. So the question is, how much could that kind of individual bravery, that local, determined, almost anachronistic heroism, actually do to counter the massive strategic and technological advantage the Germans brought to bear on day one? How much did the man on horseback matter against the machine?
That contrast.
Yeah.
That's definitely something to think about.